Fortuna GR Sport, the luxury of freedom unleashed.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Orlando Pirates are the champions of the curling knockout. It means Orlando Pirates have won 2 trophies this season. It's another final that ends in a goalless draw, which is won in extra time. Our job, of course, is to always try and make it exciting and congratulate the winners. But it has to be said, too, that it was a really, really poor final from both teams as well. Not a lot of opportunities created. Marumo Gallants, we kind of suspected when we spoke to Tso yesterday that they were going to drag this game to penalties. In fact, it's as if you wanted to watch this game, you could just pretend after 2 hours that, okay, I think it's finished now. Let me go and watch the extra time, and maybe things could happen there. Well done to Relebole Mofokeng. Didn't have a good game. Didn't have too many touches in the final third. It was a shot that was deflected, and it crawled in somehow. And Orlando Pirates scored a goal that was very decisive in extra time. Well done to Orlando Pirates. It's a double. In order for you to win a treble, you need to first win a double. So it's cup number 2 this season. They then walk on to either the Betway Premiership or the Nedbank Cup, which is the final trophy. They could win a quadruple, which is 4 trophies, or a treble, which will be very historic indeed. Tso Vilakazi, former Orlando Pirates captain. What do you make of the game? So congratulations to Orlando Pirates.
Mr. Kunjani futhi?
Yes, sir.
Ngibulisa wena, ngibulisa Stizi.
Jester.
Ngibulisa chairman my chairman.
Yes, sir.
Ngibulisa lapho Bobo Kaduso. Ngibulisa nana emakhaya, cela support njalo la iDiskiTV. Ngizobe nje njalo ngijike futhi.
Up the bugs.
Ezimnyama ngenkanza gebhula umuzi kaMasipala zawenza wawo. Mr. Nkewu ngishilo. Ngithi ngiqale nje kanje. Well done to Coach Wadu, technical team, the players, the chairman, the supporters. I think these people, they play a very important part in this game, Mr. Nkewu, and I don't think that we really show uba celebrator in the sense that they always try and push these boys.
Sure.
And extra mile every now and then, even though when the game is tough, but they're always there and make sure that they give the courage to the boys. And yeah, I would say the first half, yes, there were moments where I think there was a bit of a tasty in the game where there was some actions missing there, Mtechela, Mahopa, Wanasisi, there and there. But second half, Mr. Kew, you know, that's where you see coaches that when games like this, coaches, they also play a game. In this game, well done to Coach Marumo Gallants. He went there with his plan. He frustrated Orlando Pirates. He makes sure that Orlando Pirates they don't get those clear chances as they normally get in games. And they were frustrated, Orlando Pirates. That's why we see them like, you know, it was like everyone was like under the shadow. No one wanted to come out of that shadow. Everyone was like, it seems like they were scared of the final. They didn't come, you know, right to the occasion where we expect a final that 1 or 2 key players, they will come to the party and show us that, you know, look, maybe it was not a mistake for the team to get to the final. But yeah, man, I was very disappointed with the second half and going to the extra time.
No, it looked like it was going nowhere, basically, until Mofokeng scored the goal. You know, but of course, I think the positive spin is that Orlando Pirates keep winning these finals.
Yeah.
The Stellenbosch one was a draw as well, the MTN 8, and this one is another 0-0 draw as well.
Yeah.
That's disappointing, but I suppose the people who are in Polokwane and people in different communities, Mlazi, in Bloemfontein, wherever in this country, people who love Orlando Pirates will be celebrating, and I think that's important. Our job is just that we also have to review the game itself, that it was not a good game, but it is also true that the people are happy and people will be very excited tonight.
Mr. Gewo, it's always, you know, sometimes in the final we tend to worry about the game itself in terms of entertainment that we want to see the game. But sometimes the final can just close the door for everyone, and we're just waiting for who's going to score a goal. And that's what happened. You know, Pirates scored a goal. Well done to the King of 2000 to get that goal. It was so important also for him because when you look at his performance, I'm not pleased with his performance, but hope that the goal will boost his confidence, as he's gonna go to the Africa Cup of Nations. But Mr. Keo, one thing that I would say is that a final is a final, and
Your job
things
is
they
to
do
win the
happen.
final.
You just have to win it. Whether you use your tongue, you use your ear, you use your nose, as long as that ball's gonna cross that line, that's what is important.
Yeah, the
because-
shame is that, of course,
Yeah.
we as human beings still have to watch it.
Yeah.
That's why I keep on making this point that if you were someone else,
Yeah.
other people were more cynical. Because I kind of knew what was going to happen. Because if you knew what Marumo Gallants were going to try to do,
Yeah.
then you could say that Pirates by Ikoranga, then it's extra time. That was it. So you could have just skipped the first 90 minutes and come and then say, okay, I'll see what happens in the second. Or, of course, praying that Pirates doesn't score. Because the game was hinging on if Pirates doesn't score, then we're going to penalties.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, Mr. Gill, that it's not going to be an easy one. That's why I even said I gave 60-40, because I knew that they're going to be difficult. Some players, I'll mention one player that I think he just show us that what is it that he can do. Even though we had some questions, but looking at how the team plays, the player who pants, I think he did very well.
Yeah, good midfielder.
Yeah, very good. And also, Unklapo in that midfield, Sitole, they did very well, those boys. They worked very hard. It was not easy to play against that midfielder of Orlando Pirates. And I think Opanse did very well. And yeah, it's one of those finals where we just need a win. Marumo Gallants, for me, they frustrated Pirates. They made it hard for them. But one thing, as much as they made it hard for them, there's one thing that I've seen from the coach. They've got a good coach. I'm not going to go in the details of us as we were talking about the coach himself, but how he plays, how he organizes his team. He can organize his team very well. But one thing that I always say, Mr. Keo, if you're not going to have a striker, you're always going to suffer. A striker, it means he's giving you that end product. That why are we training the whole week?
Sure.
We're training the whole week so that we can put the ball in the net. So, but now, if you're gonna have all these midfielders playing, but you cannot put the ball in the back of the net, then again, I ask myself that why are we training? Why are we have to play this beautiful football, but we don't have an end product?
There's also a downside to that game plan.
Yeah.
He beat Sundowns with the game plan of dragging the game to extra time, penalties. Of course, they have a secret weapon, which is Washington Arubi.
Yeah.
If he saves 2 penalties, makes it difficult for the other team, right? So they beat Sundowns with that strategy. And then they beat Golden Arrows in the semifinals with the same strategy. Although, of course, it was 50-50 between them and Golden Arrows. They can still go for it.
Yes.
But the idea was that if we don't score, then we take it to penalties, and then Arubi will save them, and that's what it did. Now, with this game plan against Orlando Pirates, it was always on a prayer. Pirates didn't have a good game, but it was always that then it means you are relying on Pirates to not score.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I want to go with you with this. That now that they have scored, now you are pretending that all along you also wanted a goal. You see, there's this downside with that game plan is that once you concede, now Jason Clifford must warm up. Even now, Jason Clifford is like, Manjang Ding, you didn't need me the whole game. Now you need me. Like, if you need a striker to score a goal to make it 1-1, why don't you need me when the game is still on, when we can win a game?
Yeah, it's a very difficult one, Mr. Keo. That's why I'm saying how he organizes his team. He organizes his team very well. But now there's one thing that he forgets is that I need an end product. And an end product, that's why I always emphasize to say, when you've got a striker, definitely there's 2 players that striker is going to be responsible for. Then he's going to give you the spaces for the attacking midfielders to use those spaces to go in. But now with him, and for example, now, if he played Clifford and played Undlondlo behind Clifford, I'm telling you, the Pirates, they were going to have a headache. Because Ndlondlo was doing very well, getting to good spaces, getting those balls, trying to make everyone play. But remember that he tries to make everyone play, whereas he's a false number 9. So even when he turns and look forward, there's
He's the
no
last
one
player-
because
he's the
he's
last
the
player
one.
forward.
Yes. So I think if he started with Clifford of what there, and then they have Ndlondo here, I think Ndlondo was going to give us a headache. As much as he was giving us a headache in terms of getting those balls in those spaces, then I just imagine that if there's Clifford there, then he gets the ball and play Clifford and get to those spaces, I think we're going to have a headache.
Congratulations, Orlando Pirates.
Esimnyama ngenkanza ke ball umuzi ngamasipala zawenziwa kumnyama ipolokwane.
And that's the thing about football is that
Yeah.
once your team has won,
Yeah.
it does not matter what kind of game you watched.
Yeah.
We'll get drunk, we'll celebrate.
Yes.
It's a double so far this season.
No, if it's a final, we are confirming our walk. There's a journey that we are taking as Orlando Pirates. So we're still walking. We took 2 now.
Yeah, so that's a double.
Yeah.
It can
So
be treble. It can be
that's where we're going.
it can be quadruple.
That's where we're going. That's why I was praying for this other side that they need to make sure that they do their things right.
Yeah.
So that when we go further, then we know that we're going to collect everything.
There you go. Thank you very much, Mr. So-and-so. That was, sometimes the fun part about the game is the video itself. At least we get to laugh. Because, that game, it's a final. Your responsibility is to win it sometimes.
Yeah.
I've seen it in Rugby World Cup finals, 2007, under Jake White, the Springboks, Percy Montgomery, kicks the hell out of England. Penalty, and South Africa wins. No tries, no opportunities created, and then South Africa wins. So sometimes in finals, this happens. It is iDiski Times, also sweating.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami uLindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Danko.
This is Bongane Tso Vilakazi, they call me Tso. Niyazi bafethu, Amakhosi for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe iDiski TV.